Hello everybody, how are you doing today? I am out in the shop. This is take two. I'll explain that in a minute. I'm out in the shop and the plan is to work more. The nib I showed you yesterday, I'm going to make another one today, only this time I'm going to try not to repeat the mistakes I made with threading the outside instead of the inside and a couple of other things. I don't know how it's going to turn out or even if it's going to turn out, but if it does, it should be a pretty interesting little project. It's more of an experiment right now than anything. Talking about take two. I thought I would get, okay, heads up, I'm going to buy a lapel mic, something that I can clip onto my jacket or my shirt that will Bluetooth into my phone and give a nice steady volume, whether I'm facing the camera or I'm in normal mode or in selfie mode. That's coming down the pipe. I thought, well, hey, this is no big deal. I'll just flip the camera over. I'll record in normal mode because the voice tends to be great in normal mode, and I'll just stare at the lens. Well, when I did, all you saw was about here to here of my head. So it wasn't very good video. So you're going to have to deal with a little bit of low volume until I can find a decent lapel mic at a reasonable price. I'm sorry for that. I know you guys, it's driving some of you nuts because you turn the volume up and then all of a sudden I flip the camera around and it blows your eardrums out. I am actively working on it. I am actively searching. We will get this taken care of very soon, but I don't want to not record and show you guys what I'm working on in the meantime. I am also trying to talk just a little bit louder, so hopefully that helps. I'll keep you guys posted on how things go with this new nib. Well, guys, my test didn't work, and not because it won't work, because I have the wrong size tap. This is a blank, and you can see I've got some beautiful threads in there, threaded absolutely wonderfully. This is a piece of Alumilite. And this blank is one I was not going to use. I was just using it, to test the threads to see if things fit. And the reason why this blank was in my refuse pile was I drilled it with a 7/64 inch bit, which is a very fine bit, and the bit flexed. Therefore, on this end, it did not come out in the middle. I started in the middle on this end, or vice versa. I don't remember now. But now what I do is I drill with the 15/64 first, and then I follow up with the 7/64 just to punch the final little hole through the end of the nib, and that stops the flex. But I need to do a little research and find out what size tap I need, because this is going to be a cool project. I just need the right tools. Hey guys, after that little mishap there on the wrong size tap, I think what I'm going to do is pause a little bit. I'm going to go in the house and do a little research. I got the tap information from a good friend of mine, and he got it from what we thought was a reliable source. There must have just been a misunderstanding whenever he was given the information. So I am going to go in the house and do a little bit of research. I'm going to do it on the computer. I was looking on my phone here for the last couple of minutes, and man, it's just hard to do serious research on a phone. So I'm going to hit the computer and see if I can find the right size tap, and I think I'll get a die as well. And I'll test this a few more times. Once I figure it out, I'm going to show you guys what I think is going to be a pretty interesting little project. Well, I am back. I spent a little bit of time on the computer doing some research, and I found that I did purchase the right tap. However, there are essentially 3 taps that could work for what I am doing. And they're all about the same size, but it turns out that I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give the project away, but it turns out there's some slop in what I'm doing. So not on my end, but on the manufacturer's end. So I'm going to order a few more taps tonight and see if we can't, I'll make a ruler, like what do they call those where when you carve and you carve a bunch of stuff in a stick, so a story stick. I'll make a story stick so that I can test and know which one to use for which pin I'm trying to make. So this is going to be interesting. Let me get a little farther along and then I'll keep you guys posted, because I really got an itch to make this one work. Well, I figured out exactly which tap I need. Turns out it is an 8mm with a 0.75 pitch. So I'm on my way in the house to place an order. And while I'm in there, I think I'm going to stay in for a while. I'm going to take this nib that I made the other night, this section, and I'm going to draw it out. I've got a lot of scribble notes over here. I'm going to lay out my measurements and everything, and I'm going to correct things like this, the threading on the wrong side of the nib, or the section. I keep wanting to call it a nib. It's actually a section. We're going to get this cleaned up. I think I like this better if I show you my other section, here we go. Let me flip the camera around and show you. I'm having to re-record this section of the video because I evidently didn't hit the record button. But the section on the right, the black one, I modeled that after a pin I got back in the 70s. I still have the pin. It has a broken cap, and I was hoping to sort of recreate the pin, because I really liked it. And I found that I really liked it back in the 70s. That type of a section with the curve in the middle works great for a fountain pen, but I'm not liking it for a ballpoint pen or a gel pen. It's not working for me. So I came up with the idea for the one on the right, and I really think I like that one a lot better. It's an easy grip. It's nicely shaped, and it feels more comfortable and more natural to write with. So I think I'm going to lean more toward the green style nib. This is maybe not the best color combination, but I really like how that looks. I like the fact that I've got a nice large section down here that I can grip while I'm writing, and I can hold it higher or I can hold it lower depending on my writing style. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels, and I think I'm going to focus on making nibs like this for the time being. This is a pen that I made a long time ago. It's a kit pen. It's called the Classic Elite. Let me take the top off and show you what it looks like. This happens to be the fountain pen model. They make a rollerball model, and I just really like the weight of this pen. I like the size of it, the feel, and I've been writing with it for the last few days. It's become my primary writing instrument. I've decided that I like the Parker style pens. I like the rollerballs, but I really am kind of thinking a lot about fountain pens and how I enjoy the analog side of life. So much of life is digital now, and if you just kind of take a look back at some of the older things, and I guess it's nostalgia, it's kind of fun just to enjoy them. And I've really enjoyed writing with this pen the last few days. Got a lot of comments on it, a lot of interest, people looking at it and just curious why I'm using a fountain pen. But I think what I want to do is go back to my roots on the kitless, and the red body of that pen that I showed you a minute ago, the green pen, actually is the body of the first kitless fountain pen I ever made when I took my class with Jim Hines. And I think I'm going to go back, and I've got all the stuff to make them. I just need to buy a few Jowo number 6 nibs. I think I'm going to place an order for half a dozen nibs or so. And I think I'm going to make some fountain pens and just start using them. I don't know, I want to kind of get back into that. I've been listening to a couple of fountain pen podcasts, and it really does interest me. Things are this is a wonderful age that we live in. You have the sum of the world's knowledge in your pocket on a cell phone, right? You can find out anything in a matter of seconds. But sometimes the digital age just moves a little too fast, and I really appreciate, like, my turntable. I like listening to my albums. I kind of like the old, I'm going to call it analog things, right? I like simple things. And the fountain pen has been really nice. It kind of took me back a little bit. It slows me down when I write, so my writing turns out to be a lot neater. It's a lot more legible. It's just fun writing with something like this. Just as much fun as it is listening to albums on a turntable. So for the time being, I think I'm going to kind of migrate back towards things like fountain pens. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop making regular kitted pens or kitless pens or any of the other stuff I do on the channel. It's just I thought I would share with you guys, just kind of what I'm thinking and where I'm going, and this is kind of what I'm into right now. I've been listening to a pen podcast that I really have enjoyed about fountain pens, and I think I'm going to contact my old buddy Mike DeLalter and see about next time they have a gathering, a pen gathering, or fountain pen gathering up in Indianapolis. If I'm free that weekend, I may try to go up there. I mean, granted, I only have 1 or 2 fountain pens, and I don't have anything really amazing, but it might be kind of fun to go up and meet other fountain pen enthusiasts, kind of talk to them, learn a little bit. That's the big thing, is learn. What makes a good fountain pen, and just have a little fun, just meeting some new people and expanding my knowledge. And it may bring some cool stuff into my garage pen turning. So that's it for me, guys. I'm going to go in the house and place an order. I'm going to do some pattern making, write down some ideas, and kind of get ready for when this tap comes in so that I can make my new nib. I'm going to keep you guys posted. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you again real soon.